On this video, we'll be talking about putting new tarps on the chicken tractors and moving the chickens out into them. The final step to getting these houses ready is putting the shade cover on. So I've got the house over here and I'm going to start rigging up the shade cover for it. It's just a tarp, we'll put zip ties on it and get it all ready to go, and we're going to start moving chickens in later on today after we get done. So I got the tarp on this one. Basically, I put some zip ties on this side here and then walked inside and just kind of walked it up and over the structure. And then when I got to the other side, I put a couple of zip ties in to hold it down, and then went around and readjusted like all the different points of it to make sure it was in a pretty good spot. And then I started zip tying everything down. We leave this flap here pretty much undone. We'll do this part with like a bungee cord. That way, when it's raining, we can put it down. When it's hot, we can lift it up. When I start putting the birds in here, I'll lift it up and bungee cord it up so that they can get maximum amount of air movement in the shade cover, or in the structure. I got both of these chicken houses covered with their new tarps. So now I need to get some more supplies ready to get the chicks moved out here, and I'll show you some of that process, get them moved out here and get them settled in. So I'm now moving the birds into the house. I'm taking them out in groups of like 30, and then I'll open this door here to the chicken house and put them all in individually. It takes a little bit longer than how we used to do it, but it's easier to do with just one person this way, so that's why I'm doing it. Came out here this morning to feed and water the birds, and I always do a check of them just to make sure everybody's up and moving around okay. And the first thing that I noticed was a couple of the birds looked like they had been injured overnight. So I did a walk around the house, and this is what I found. As you can see right here, there's some blood on the outside of the house, like something had tried to get in here. And this was not as bent up as it is right now. So we obviously had a predator problem last night. So now we're going to have to figure out a new plan as far as protecting these birds. They have a couple more weeks out here on pasture. And we need to make sure that we protect them as best we can. So our plan for protecting them, we're not really sure exactly what we're going to do yet. We're probably going to do a couple of modes of action. Some sort of deterrent to try and keep the predator away. We might put up a trail cam to see if we can catch it and figure out exactly who the predator is. We also might take some hardware cloth and wrap around this house again for the second time. This chicken wire is just not cutting it as far as a protection standpoint. I don't think any of the animals left, but definitely a couple of them are probably not going to survive their injuries. So it's just an unfortunate day here on the farm. Also, when I came out this morning, I noticed this feather. This was definitely not here last night when I fed and moved the birds. So I don't know if this feather is from the predator or what. It's really disappointing to come out and find something like this, just because we take a lot of pride in taking care of these animals and raising them and letting them have a good life while they're here on our farm. No, we don't name them or anything like that, but we definitely want them to have the best care. And when we come out and find some predator issues overnight, obviously it's something we try to protect them from, but we're not always going to get all of them protected. But to come out and find them like this on the first night that we put them outside is just disappointing to begin with. So this was the feather that we found after some research and watching a couple YouTube videos. We kind of think it's a owl, a great horned owl. We found one video and this gentleman had caught an owl on camera and doing kind of the same damage to the chickens as we experienced. So after yesterday's predator problem, tried to figure out what would be the best solution and the quickest solution for us to protect the birds for last night. We came up with two things. So we added this second layer of plastic netting right here, and the theory behind that is that if whatever's getting them has to go through two levels, it'll be too difficult to get the chickens' heads or bodies through both levels. The second thing was to add these lights right here. They have like a dimming feature, so they stay on like a nightlight kind of, and then when something comes up near them, they turn on super bright, and they're like 300 lumens or something. Steven got these at Lowe's for I think $20 a piece or so. So basically, when whatever would come up to try and attack the birds, if it would land or walk up or whatever, the sensor on that is a motion sensor, so that would set it off. We didn't see anything this morning when we came out. No new injured animals, no new signs of any sort of predator. So it seems that all of our efforts here are working. On this house, we put the light on the front just so that we would have lights on the front and the back of both houses. It seemed to work out pretty good. Everybody's happy and eating their breakfast this morning.